bras are less common because they are more difficult to manufacture and more difficult to fit, and they are more expensive to make. So that's a lot of disincentives for a manufacturer to make a front closed bra. So a front closed bra typically, and there are some front closed bras that have hook and eyes, and those are definitely easier to manufacture. But once you start putting a zipper in a bra, it becomes more complicated for a factory to make it. So it's more complicated for the factory to make it. It's more expensive to put a zipper in a bra. And the bra is more likely to cause chafing when it has a zipper in it, which means that it has to go through a lot more testing, a lot more wear testing, a lot more fitting, a lot more research and development. And so that is why front closed bras are less common. Now, in terms of front closed bras that have hook and eyes, those are a lot easier to make, but they're also not considered as modern or as attractive. So there aren't a lot of like designers that are really psyched to make a front closed bra that has a hook and eye in it because it doesn't feel very modern. The other thing to take into consideration with a front closed bra is that it's not going to have the same micro adjustment that a back closed bra does. So a back closed usually has 3 hooks, so you can make it a little bit tighter or a little bit looser, whereas a front closed bra, there's usually only just one adjustment right there. So either it fits you really well or it doesn't. And if it's even slightly off and it's a running bra, it's going to cause you chafing because it's going to start shifting on you. So it's just because it's more complicated, more expensive, more R&D, all of those reasons, that's why they're not as popular for manufacturers to make them. Bra sizing is so antiquated, and it is like my biggest pet peeve about bras is bra sizing. So you have to understand the history of bras and how bra sizing even originated. So bra sizing is based on Victorian shirt sizing. So the very first bras in the early 1900s they went over, they're actually covers for corsets. So people still wore corsets, and then they put this cover on top of it that was essentially like a shirt. So it was sized like a Victorian shirt, and Victorian shirt sizes were sized 32, 34, 36, which as you know is very familiar to you today in bra sizing. And the very first bras didn't have cups at all. They just had this 32, 34, 36 because people just assumed that they assumed it was like a small, medium, large sports bra, where if you had small breasts, you also had a small shirt size, and if you had large breasts, you had a large shirt size. But then as bras became to look more and more like the bras that we know today, they realized, well, that's not always the case. Sometimes people have smaller breasts and larger rib cage, and sometimes people have larger breasts and small rib cage. So then they started adding cup sizes to just sort of account for these differences in breast size versus, rib cage and clothing size. And they started by saying, okay, well, if your breasts are like an inch bigger than your clothing size, we'll call it an A. And if they're 2 inches bigger than your clothing size, we'll call it a B. And they only went up to D at that point. And it was like, and they had these really like sexist, unflattering terms like, I don't know, like, it was like slim figure versus like, full figure. And I don't know, it wasn't very flattering. But so that's how they came up with A, B, C, and D. And then as time went on, they realized, oh, wait a minute, now what are we going to do? It turns out there are people whose breasts are larger than D. So then they said double D. And then there were people who were even larger than that. And then they said triple D. And then different parts of the world started doing it differently. And so if you do any research at all and you look at how bra sizing is in different parts of the world, like every region of the world does it differently. So some countries use 1, 2, 3, 4. Other countries use 12, 13, 14. It is just like, it's a total mess. And so some countries will just go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Other countries will go A, B, C, double D, E, F, G, double G, H, double H. And then the US has this very odd system where it goes A, B, C, D, double D, triple D, and then it just goes to G. Because they figured, well, everybody's already been educated on this D, double D, triple D thing. We can't really go back in time. And instead of just going D, E, F, we'll just go straight to G. And now the US is A, B, C, D, double D, triple D, G, and then just goes on from there. So that's how it originated. It makes no sense at all. It really should be overhauled. And yeah, it's just something that's stuck in history back in Victorian times that really just needs to be changed.